Coach, why don't you start with an opening statement, and we'll follow with questions.
All right, so with the short week we've got coming up, we didn't really change anything yesterday and last night. We tried that to keep as normal as possible, but today we got up this morning, had meetings this morning, and we'll come back this afternoon and go for about an hour and 15 minutes in and around labs and class and night classes. And our guys' day off will be next Saturday. I mean, this coming Saturday after we play. So really it's, Tuesday for us will be like a Wednesday, and Wednesday will be like a Thursday where we just do walkthrough and really try to finalize some things. And then Thursday we'll kick it back up and rev the engines back up and get on a plane and head up to Marshall. So we're excited about the opportunity to play this Friday night on national TV against really over the last couple of years, the most consistent team in our league, been in the championship game the last 2 years, won it last year. Doc's done a great job, and his staff have done a great job of building a consistent winner, really. I mean, they have good players. They're well coached. They've taken us to the last 2 years. We haven't really, we'd gotten a lot better last year, but we certainly didn't finish last year. And so we're excited about going up there with a good team, playing a good team, and seeing where we're at. So we're looking forward to it.
Is there ever a good time for a short week?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. The only time that's good for a short week is if you've had a bye week the week before, I guess, or if you're healthy, if you're as healthy as you've been. If you're banged up, you kind of like it to have a little bit more time. But I don't know. I'm done trying to analyze whether or not who it's good for, who it's not good for. I don't have any idea. We're playing them Friday night, and there'll be no excuse. It won't because we played Friday, whether we play well or we don't play well.
What have you seen out of Marshall that specifically their team this year that you guys feel like might give problems?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's hard to replace a Rakeem Cato and then the Schuler kid that was a really good player. They had a great rapport, man. Those two guys, third downs, and they're working through that. And then they've had a couple of their tailbacks banged up. That's going to slow you down. You just can't replace good players. It takes time. We've been through that. So, but they're still doing a good job, offensively. They're still athletic on the perimeter, got good players out there. The quarterback's a good player. Their first guy got banged up, but they're playing this redshirt freshman who's a talented guy. And so they just haven't hit that spark yet like they were in the last few years where they could roll up 50 on you in a heartbeat, And then defensively they're the same. I mean, very athletic. They got the McKelvey kid back at linebacker that's playing really well. Their back end is very athletic, very active. They challenge you. They play zone principles, but man, with it. So, I mean, it's going to be a real challenge for us going on the road, but like I said, we're significantly better. We're a different team than we've been, and it's another barometer to see where you're at. They've been at the top of the hill, and so it's we get a chance to see where we're at.
Last year, you surprised a lot of people when you went for 2 onside kicks in the first quarter against Marshall, and now it kind of seems like that, helped set up the identity you've kind of become, as a aggressive team. So do you ever think back to that game and how it kind of established that?
Oh, I don't know. I try not to look back at that game because the second one we kicked, we were offsides. So that was bad coaching, bad playing, because we had that in mind, and we had a chance to take the air out of the first quarter, and then we just didn't execute. We didn't get off the field on defense, and we had opportunities to score more and didn't do it. So, those are the things that I look back a little bit to see schematically what they did against our style and vice versa, but other than that, it's a different team. It's a different year. We've moved beyond that.
Are they more defensively? Are they probably better than they are offensively?
I don't know about that. I don't know if they're better one side of the ball. I see good players on both sides. I see that it's just hard to replace on offense those kind of guys. It just is. And when they've been playing for so long, that have gotten all the reps. They've got good players. The quarterbacks they got are good players. The receivers they got are good players. The running backs now, have they been healthy, been able to work together for a long enough time? That's what we talk about our team. The reason we're further ahead is the same guys are doing it. and you just develop that rapport, and you just get better together. So it's not that they don't have good players on both sides of the ball. They've just, they lost some really good players from the years past.
Coach, when you look at that defense and you break it down a little bit, do you see them being a better team against the pass or a better team against the run?
I don't see it either way. I think statistics early in the year can be misleading depending on who you play. You could early in the year play, some teams that throw it around better than others, or teams that run it better than others. I mean, it's just the way it is. You could play some Big 12 teams and they sling it around, or you can play Army and Navy, and all of a sudden your rushing numbers are poor. I don't look at it that way. They're sound in what they do. They play hard. They're athletic. They're long up front, and their perimeter players will hit you and can cover. So we have our work cut out for them, and what we do will determine what the kind of success we have on offense. They're not complicated. They just are very good at what they do.
Would you believe your statistics as a team is something to not believe early on?
What's that? I'm sorry?
So your statistics as a team are not something you believe early on?
Statistics as a team?
Yes, sir. Before your previous comment you mentioned about early statistics are something that could be misconstrued.
Yeah, I've said that before about statistics. It's something that makes you feel good. It's you can't carry over statistics. What we are today and what you're ranked or you're not ranked has nothing to do with this week. Now, some of it you can say, okay, it's a barometer kind of where we're at. Yes, but can't carry over yards, can't carry over, turnovers you created. You can't carry over sacks. That's great. That was last week. That was a different opponent. What does this opponent, present to you, and the challenges that it presents, and the challenge is how do you bring it every week? The best teams, the best players find a way to bring it every day in practice, and then you see it come Friday or Saturday. That's really what the challenge is the consistency that you put forth, and eliminate the noise. Eliminate the noise of the people that think you're not good enough at times, and those that think you can beat anybody and we're great and here we go. It's eliminate the noise. It's about our room, what our guys think, how we practice, how we prepare.
You mentioned Saturday about hoping to get some guys back healthy this week and getting a chance to look at the injury report on Sunday. How's that looking?
I think it looks pretty good. It'll be close, the short week, when you asked about that. I think the short week doesn't help that, but I'm hopeful we'll get our safeties back. I'm hopeful that we'll get Anthony Swain back for us, and we'll get Draper Riley back on defense, and I'm hopeful we'll get those guys back. They'll practice. We'll see if they'll be able to go.
Coming into the year, I guess it was pretty clear. I guess some of the tougher games were going to be on the road for you guys, and so I guess when you look at this Marshall game, how have you seen your team embrace the, rising to the challenge of playing these tough teams away from here?
I don't know if there's anything that rising to the challenge. I thought we played fairly well at times at Texas State, and I thought we did some good things at Nebraska, but we've certainly got to do it better in a lot of areas to give ourselves a chance to play at Marshall. That's just the way it is. You go play on the road, it's just different. You're in a hotel, you're at a different place. You try to keep the routine the same. Your crowd's not there. You've got to be able to run the football, and you've got to be able to eliminate the foolish penalties, the pre-snap penalties that we did this past weekend. We didn't turn it over, and we didn't have any pre-snap penalties on offense. That's what you've got to do.
With Marshall being kind of top of the hill though the last few years, what would it mean to go up there and knock them off?
Well, I think it just says how far you've come. That's really what it is it's, like I said, it's a barometer. If you want to be the best, you've got to go up against the best and see where you're at. They've set the bar in terms of, the last couple of years and building up to, Doc's last few years where he's got all of his players. So, that's really what it is. It's to see where you're at, and they're a great barometer for that.
Would you say having a back like Justice Hayes is kind of your third guy? How much of a luxury is that to have a guy like him?
And I don't really see it as a third guy. I see it as one of the three. I think we've done a good job of rotating those guys. He was a little nicked up at Nebraska, but, was it nice at the end to have an experienced guy to run the ball? Yes. But all three of them are capable. You just only have one ball, and each of them do things just a little bit differently. So, you can't get it to everybody. And I think those guys, a credit to those guys, have been selfless. That sure, would Jalen have liked to have touched it more? Would Justice like to play more? Would Ito like the ball more? Yes, but there's only one ball, and that you don't control that. What you control is how you practice all week, and when your opportunity comes, take advantage of it.
Coach, I think you played 8, 9 offensive linemen again. Is that trend something we're going to continue to see?
Sure. No, we've got guys that have warranted by their practice and by their play that have warranted playing. So to keep those guys fresh, I think as long as we've got enough guys that warrant being put on the field, which they do, I don't see any reason why we won't continue to rotate guys and continue to do it in practice.
How important is it to get a fast start offensively on Marshall?
Oh, it's always important to get a fast start, especially on the road. We didn't do that at Nebraska. Luckily, we kept them out of the end zone, which gave us a chance. But obviously, it's always important to get a fast start, but especially on the road. It's just critical to coming out of the locker room and be ready to go.
Nick has been selected as Manning Award finalist. How does that affect him and the team going up to Marshall?
I hope it doesn't affect him at all, because it's someone else's opinion of Nick Mullins, and at some point people thought he couldn't play. So I don't. That's one of them I'm talking about. Eliminate the noise. That's just a distraction. It's a byproduct of a lot of things. His experience, getting older, and us playing better around him. That's a credit to our coaches and our game plans, to our other players around him. He's played well, but you can't carry it over week to week. You can't say, okay, that has nothing to do with this week against Marshall.
You guys pay any attention to these early bowl projections, or are you just trying to block that out?
We have 3. We have 3 wins. It's the same people that projected we wouldn't be worth it. So I don't get why it would matter if all of a sudden they think we go to a bowl, and then next week we're not going to a bowl, and then next week I could care less. We're at 3. That's the eliminate the noise. What's that got to do this week? We're looking for 4. That's it.
You said before the season started that you were going to pass off play calling duties to I think your offensive coordinator. Has that happened? And if so,
Chip calls the plays.
progress report on that?
Oh, it's been. What do you think? It's been pretty good. And I'm still involved in the offense. I always will be. I'm an offensive guy, but the scripting and the play calling and what we do day to day is Chip Lindsey and Luke Meadows and John Wozniak and John Williams and John Simon. They've done a great job. And, we went through the off season talking about what we wanted to be, what we don't want to be, who we have, what our personnel we have afforded us. And so I think they've done a great job week to week of trying to figure out ways that we can score points. And so, but we'll see. It's we got good coaches, we got good players. We just got to continue to do it well, and we've done a great job of not turning it over. That was an emphasis this year. We got to be able to run the ball better and not turn it over. We got 5 turnovers through 5 games. That doesn't guarantee this week, so we've got to continue to stay on that track, because you'll give yourself a chance to win if you don't turn it over, and we've done that.
Whether ahead or behind early, does Marshall kind of pose the kind of threats to where you're going to be, throwing the kitchen sink at them, so to speak, aggressive play calling, trick plays, things like that?
I don't think so. I mean, we've called trick plays every game we've been in, and certain games we've faked a punt and onside kick, so I don't see this as any different. You have to do whatever you can to move the football, score points, and win the game. So that's on offense, defense, it's in special teams. It's whatever you feel like gives you the best chance to win.